Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. And
You're
we are
stealing lines
here.
from that other podcast again.
We are here for my favorite podcast of the year.
WrestleMania.
No. No.
Royal Rumble?
No.
5 days removed from AEW Dynamite?
No! Of course not. No.
Well, then there can only be one thing.
What might that thing be?
It's been 2 weeks since Final Fantasy is released.
Okay, fine. You talk about Final Fantasy then.
There's not really much to talk about. Just play it.
See, I'm too
So there's
busy.
this game in Final Fantasy called Queen's Blood. It's really fun. Highly suggest playing it.
Okay. And now that we've got that cheap plug for Final Fantasy out of the way, it's time to talk about the real top of the line, can't miss news of the week.
All right, Nathan. So what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about WWE 2K24.
Oh, it's a good game.
Oh, it's really, really good.
All right, now that we've passed that.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. No, so we thought we'd take this podcast to just relax, sit back, and talk about the game.
Yeah, and I have left it up to Nathan to pick match of the week this year. So or not
match of the week this year. Oh, perfect.
Match of the week this week.
It is the same thing.
Match of the week this week.
Oh, fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you keeping track, my match of the week. Now there are so many good candidates. Okay, but one towered above the rest, and that is
DIY.
No.
Oh,
and that is
The Miz.
No.
It was with
No,
DIY, The
no,
Miz, R-Truth.
No. See, the match I'm thinking of, it's a historic match. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. And let me tell you something.
I knew I shouldn't have
when
let him choose this
Shawn
week.
Michaels kicked The Undertaker, pinned him for the 3 count, and then you hear Mike Rowe's wonderful commentary. Here is your winner and the man who defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
You let him win in showcase mode.
Your
didn't you?
heart absolutely skips a beat. Because finally, justice is served. The Undertaker loses. He was 16-1 at WrestleMania. It was just a perfection of a match. That's all I'm saying.
So he let Undertaker beat him at WrestleMania
No, I
in
didn't.
showcase mode.
That's wrong. I let Shawn win.
Yeah, he let Shawn beat Taker at WrestleMania in showcase mode,
Yeah.
which I think happened more than once.
Okay. Look, I don't like having a Shawn Michaels have a losing record for any reason. That's it. That's just me. I may or may not have let it happen a few times. But what is important right now is Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25, my match of the week.
I'm allowing it this week just because of what this week is.
So technically, it did come out this week. Technically, it is a match that came out this week. It's already up. But that being said, I don't know about you. I don't know where to start with this game. But off of the top of my head, special referee, ambulance matches, and gauntlet matches are all in 2K24. You've got the backstage brawl area expanded out to 4 people. You've got my GM with a ridiculous amount of depth. You've got a men's storyline that is better than last year, and a women's storyline which is a lot harder than last year for things we're going to go into. You've got expanded blood physics. You've got face paint rubbing off of wrestlers now. This is probably the most complete game WWE Visual Concepts.
I think we've
2K
done pretty much
ever produced.
everything in the game except for Universe Mode and My Faction.
My Faction I have dabbled in a little bit.
Okay, I haven't.
So I've dabbled in like weekly towers and stuff like that. I have
Okay.
not used the cards online. I've heard terrible things about the servers, but it's a 2K game. Every
Yeah.
server is kind of, terrible.
Yeah.
But that being said, my faction actually has an incentive to play it this year, which is really, really nice and really terrible at the same time. Anybody who is a My Faction exclusive, whether it be an exclusive attire or an exclusive superstar, i.e. Sheamus 09,
Yeah.
you unlock Sheamus as a My Faction player. He becomes playable in 2K24 base game, which is a great addition, especially for those of us who would not want to pay like $10 for an attire pack.
Yeah.
Which, you know, great thing for My Faction. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it out loud.
So, what are some of the parts that you have not enjoyed about the game?
So like with any 2K game, and this is just going to be flat out across the board, there are it lacks the polish that you'd hope it would have.
Yeah.
There are several times, particularly in the women's My Rise mode, where I'm going through, I'm playing a match, and the game will all of a sudden, without any word of warning, kick me back out to the game system home screen. Particularly an Iron Woman match against Candice LeRae. Very early on in the mode, I have now tried it 4 times, and it has messed up 4 times. I've won all 4 Iron Woman matches. I've gone through. I've beaten by 18, 13, 11. What I haven't done is maybe like a 1-0, a 2-0, and basically screw around for 15 minutes. I don't know what's up with that. 2K, I know you're still patching the game. Patch that the hell so that it's stable. Aside from that, ECW in my GM.
Yeah, the card is broken.
OP. Absolutely OP. Whereas a lot of other cards have been built to sort of balance each other out.
Yeah.
And a lot of cards have either been nerfed or buffed to balance each other out. The ECW card that allows you to hit every other brand's top superstar twice is a little bit excessive, especially when at this point in time, power cards do not carry over into a following season.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
Managers.
I don't have as big of a problem with managers as you do. I understand why you do.
I have a lot of problems with managers in matches. It happens way too frequently that you get distracted by the manager from the other side of the ring.
Yeah.
There should be a limit as to where in the ring.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on the other side of the ring because I'm walking to get out of the ring to grab something, even like a no DQ match or something, I shouldn't be able to get to the ropes and then have it automatically walk me back, and then I gotta sit there for 30 to 45 seconds being distracted by the manager and not being able to do anything.
That is the biggest issue I have with the 40 years of WrestleMania mode.
Yeah.
Because that's where I find it be the most prevalent. I have not found that in Exhibition when I've had managers around, nor My Rise.
I found it in My Rise as well.
Yeah. It's not nearly as bad.
I've also had problems with
submissions.
No, well, I do have problems with submissions. The prompt doesn't happen soon enough at times, at least in things like My Rise and
the 40 years of WrestleMania. 40 years.
But a bigger thing I've had issues with is the computer reversing while stunned.
I haven't had that, so
I've ran into it multiple times in My Rise, in frickin' showcase mode, and it is so annoying. The person is stunned. The stun will be ticking down. It'll be at about half. They'll reverse a move, and their stun will just go away.
Did they use? It's called Iron Jaw. It's a new Payback. Did you watch that?
I did, but no,
they didn't use it.
No.
Okay.
No, it's a pain in the butt.
It's a pain in the butt if it happens.
It's been happening a lot.
I have never had that happen. So I don't know if that's just an issue with your copy of the game, just like my issues with my copy of the game involve stuff on community creations, not actually downloading to my system. That being said, Stunlock is an issue.
Yeah.
But it's a relatively minor issue in the grand scheme of things. It's not like 2K22 where we would go into universe mode and have that mode be not functional.
Yeah. I'm excited to try universe mode at some point, but right now there's just so much going on in the game with my GM, my Rise, and the showcase mode that I've got to get through before.
Now, have you gone through showcase mode?
I haven't finished it, no.
Okay.
I'm within the last little bit.
Do you want a spoiler about it, or do you want me to...
I think I already know what the spoiler is.
The final match in showcase mode?
Yeah.
It is honestly one of the hardest and best matches you could possibly have. It's a Royal Rumble with all male superstars in showcase.
Okay.
So let's say if you're me, you go through and you find Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Who you can use, thankfully. It's not like last year with the Cena mode, where if you pick somebody else, they'll be like, no.
Yeah.
You pick Shawn Michaels, you come out at number 1, regardless of who you pick.
Oh.
And go through a 30-man Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Now, the end reward is My Faction stuff, so if you are interested in My Faction, you are incentivized to play it. Depending on who you pick, it can be very, very difficult because it's a Royal Rumble. All of the weight issues are there. Let's say if you pick somebody like a Rey Mysterio and Andre the Giant, who is in the Battle Royal or the Royal Rumble, pops up, you are not going to have a fun time as Rey.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a stack finisher. There were about 6 different times in the match where I'm like, thank God I was able to reverse.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes was a pain in the ass because he came out at 28, and Michaels had been out since number 1. He immediately sees me, ignores 2 other people who are in front of me to try to boot me out and eliminate me.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Cody Rhodes,
so
I was able to reverse.
I've only been doing showcase mode on my lunches from work.
Yep.
I get 2 matches in, then I go back to work.
Yep.
I literally just finished Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay. So you're about halfway through.
Yeah, I done HBK versus Razor Ramon and Bret Hart, Steve Austin.
Yeah. So you're going to have I think your next one is Austin Rock from 17. I think that's your next one.
I think it is too. I think that's what popped up. I know Rock's involved in it, so.
Yeah. So you're looking at a little bit before you get to HBK Taker.
Yeah.
Now speaking of which, I marathoned showcase mode because I had to get my GM ready. I've marathoned the male My Rise story. I'm working my way through the female My Rise story as we speak. I've had several matches outside of universe mode. Can we talk about my favorite re-addition into the franchise? Can we talk about special guest referee?
Yeah.
Because I am sorry, they did it well here.
Yeah, they did it really well.
So there's 2 different ways you can play special guest referee. One is more akin to WWE 2K14, where you've got a meter which can fluctuate based on your actions as a referee. If you call the match down the middle, that meter will fill. If you do not, you have the risk of being ejected from the match. I have played every kind of crooked official or straight official you could possibly have. The meter does work. It will tick down like nobody's business if there are a lot of infractions that you do not call or pick up on. Its pin counting is a little wonky at points in time because you believe you can have a straight and narrow pin count and it'll tell you it's awful. but you swear you put in the same amount of effort on a pin call and it'll be called perfect. Where this mode really benefits if you do use the meter is you could be ejected from the match, and when you are, you become a manager. And you can do whatever you want until you are ejected as a manager.
Have you noticed just while playing that sometimes to get just to the 1 count, it takes like 5 seconds of having them down, and then
I'm glad you brought that up.
Because that the 1 count, you have them down for like a 3 count before the 1 goes off, and then
I'm like, Charles, get into place, Charles. Why are you just standing there like this, Charles?
I had it happen in an Elimination Chamber match.
Yep.
Where you don't have the ref really around to get into place. It just starts counting.
Yep.
It took forever.
It hung for like what, 4 seconds, 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Have that. I think that's just an issue of tightening things up.
Yeah.
More so than anything else. And that's the other thing. Tighten things up. This was a quality of life improvement game.
Yeah.
If you have 2K23 and you're not jazzed about my GM or the new match types, you're not missing much. Not this year. I don't think anyway. No. If you do like all the little intricacies, by all means, buy the crap out of this game. It's fantastic. We're obviously going to talk about the biggest positive of 2K24 very shortly, but this game is a game for the hardcore.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff that you will not see on WWE programming if you did not grow up around the Attitude Era. You won't see how big wrestling was, is, or can be. Without something like this game. This game is a love letter to fans of the 2K series. And if you are a fan like us, more specifically like me, you will put in 50 hours into this game and still barely scratch the surface of what it can offer. It's a tremendous achievement.
Yeah, he basically put 50 hours into the game within the first day. I know it's impossible, but he managed it.
Do you want to know how hard it is to build a time machine on the fly under pressure? But yeah. So let's talk about the biggest joy of this game. My GM mode.
Yeah.
My God.
They have improved it drastically.
My God.
They have made it harder drastically.
My God.
They have made it drastically more fun.
Oh my God. Like the two of us, we usually had a rule in place.
Yeah.
We don't screw the other people. We screw
the computer.
It is so hard to screw the computer.
Oh yeah.
And I've played my GM alone. I played it with Ben. The computers are no joke, even on the hard difficulty. They are no joke. They are still beatable, but they are no joke. We dare not even try extreme difficulty as of yet because by the way that hard has shored up a lot of the flaws that were exploitable last year, extreme is going to be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Very rarely they've implemented trades, first of all, which is something that they should have implemented from the very get-go, in my opinion. But they've implemented trades. Trades are so much fun to pull off if you can actually do it well. The one issue that I have is that there's absolutely no haggling on your end.
Yeah.
Or their end. And I don't see that in any other sports game, including ones made by Visual Concepts in 2K. So I want to know why we're kind of, behind the times a little bit in that aspect.
Yeah.
I want to be able to haggle. I want to be able to negotiate, because some of the stuff that the computer has, just as the computer does for you, there isn't enough there, but if you sweeten the pot, then maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to say no, but you should be allowed at least one counteroffer per trade. I'm sorry, you just should. But that being said, it's so much fun to blow a wad on an immortal superstar, work them to death, get them hurt, and then paw them off on Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman. But as much as I praise the computers for cracking down, Paul Heyman and finances for whatever reason,
yeah,
just doesn't seem to work. So get your immortal superstar, like raise them up, work them to death, get them hurt, and then paw them off on Paul Heyman the first chance you get. It is tremendously fun to do. Same with Bischoff for whatever reason.
it was just fun to mess over on EGM, really.
Oh yeah, exactly. You can make woefully unfavorable trades between player characters, which is really really nice.
Yeah,
you can trade something for nothing. You can attempt to trade Shawn Michaels for $1.
Yeah. And if he had have accidentally slipped up and accidentally hit over plus the button to accept, I was going to sell him back for twice the amount.
Jesus.
$2.
What do you think I am? Made of money?
Yeah.
Yeah. The way I fleece computer players, yeah.
You're at least made of food. Food's money.
Well, food is food. That is for sure. Anyway, that being said, game's been out for a week. Yeah. What is your favorite memory of it so
far? My favorite memory of it so far.
Yeah.
Just that one song.
The one country song that
has the one country song on it.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
It works out so well. So my favorite memory is involved to a small child. That small child, his name is Marcus. He came to play the game. He's 7. Super obsessed with the WWE. Special thanks to his mom, who is a total sweetheart, by the way. Kayla, if you're watching this, I love you to death. Special guest referee. He has not played this game at all. He is very, 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 very nervous about his own abilities. If you get him into a special referee match, you put the computer on the hardest difficulty you can. And you watch as you take advantage of every technical issue in the book to make this kid win. The amount of joy that it brings to his face that you are deliberately cheating and screwing over his opponents is nothing short of the joy that I first felt when I booted up SmackDown Here Comes the Pain for the first time. And I cannot thank 2K enough for that. Fantastic way to just deliberately screw over people.
It's totally not what I thought your favorite memory was going to be.
What memory is that? Is it going to be when Shawn Michaels heroically beat the streak in WrestleMania 25?
Basically, yeah.
That's close number 2, actually. If you had to rate the game, just right now as is, okay, what would you rate it?
E for everybody.
You really think a game with that much blood?
Yeah.
You really think a game where you can leave the ring mat a bloody mess?
Yeah. There's an option to turn it off.
When you can literally set tables on fire.
Yeah.
And then throw somebody through a table.
Yeah.
It's rated E for everyone.
It was a big part of my childhood.
Yeah, but your childhood was kind of...
So was yours.
Well, that's true. I don't know. I can see why you're rating it E for everybody.
Because it's fun.
It is a lot of fun. If you had to rate it out of 10, though.
Oh, see, I thought you were...
Yeah, out of like 10, I don't care if you rate it out of 5, out of 10, out of 100.
So, I never rate anything a 10.
Yep.
Because I think there's always room for improvement.
Yep.
I've had a few issues with the game. I'd probably go about a 7 right now.
I would go about an 8 right now because the highs are so high, and I've enjoyed this game so much. I think if the bugs were ironed out, if we got a definitive answer on my GM, the creation issues, the Iron Man bug, the managers, I would go as high as a 9.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, at this very moment, 8 out of 10. For me, if you are a hardcore fan of WWE or a fan of the franchise and you don't already have this game, I don't know what's wrong with you. Go out and purchase it. We both have the deluxe edition of the game.
Yeah.
Which would be my preferred way if I were you guys of buying it, unless for whatever reason you do not want to go through showcase mode, but you still want all the stuff, like the greedy little bastards that people are. Spend the $160 Canadian, go get the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition of the game. But for me, best bang for your buck is that deluxe edition. Get the game, get the season pass, get the unlock everything, mess with superstar overalls all you want, and save some money if you're looking to get the season pass at all. It's a tremendous game, and I think 2K and Visual Concepts should be applauded. This is the blueprint that I want for wrestling games going forward, not just WWE.
Yeah. But I guess that's it from us for this week.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next week when we talk about
something that isn't 2K24.
If Nathan can manage to hold back.
No, I can't. I like 2K24 a lot.
See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.